Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kemi, and I'm here to talk about Beyond the Gates, Season 1, Episode 129. So, we start off the episode with Ashley again proposing to Derek, and she's telling him that she's not leaving until he gives her an answer or until he says yes, basically. Then we see Jacob and Naomi, and they're at Orphe Jeans, and they're discussing Chelsea and how they hope that she'll recover. And yeah, they just basically hoping that she's going to recover and that she isn't like putting off her recovery because of, X, Y, and Z. So then they start to talk about June, and June pops up because she's a new waitress at Orphe Jeans. So then we see Nicole and Smitty, and they're at Martin and Smitty's house, and they're doing like a clothing drive. So they're getting donations for Nicole's charity. So Tyrell goes upstairs to go get some shoes or whatever, and Smitty wants to ask her, like, he asked her how Nicole is doing since the last time that they talked, and he wants to know if she ever misses Ted, and she was just like, of course, but that doesn't mean that she forgives him. And then he was just like, he can relate because it's hard to forgive someone who's lied to them or whatever. And she was just like, oh, I hear Martin sleeping on the couch on the sofa, so that means, like, maybe there's more. And then he was just like, oh no, she was just like, Martin sleeping on the couch, and she wonders if he's gonna forgive her. So then we see Ted. He's drinking with his door open. So his door is open, and it was just like, why was his door open? Anyways, so he leaves his door open. He's drinking. He's like getting getting wasted, and Eva comes in, and she's like worried about him, like, what's going on. And then he tells her, like, basically about what had happened, not really, but like in drunken form, what had happened when he was just, when he was with Anita and them or whatever, Nicole and them or whatever. And she was just like, you're wasted. And he was just like, yeah, I'm three sheets to the wind and I'm working on my fourth or whatever. So then we see Anita and Vernon, and they're coming from, I guess, the kitchen or dinner or whatever, and they're getting ready to go to the living room. And the door, and Leslie's at the door. So like they hear her knocking on the door, and they're just like, oh God, who is it? And they already know who it is. So she comes in just talking like she always does. And she's just like, I just wanted to come say hi to my neighbors. And it's just like, oh my gosh, she's so annoying. Like, it's like legit annoying at this point. Like, for real, for real. It's really gotten to the point where it's just like, I'm legit over Leslie and everything that she's doing. I'm just over it. So we go back to Ashley and Derek, and he isn't sure. Um, like, he isn't sure that he can agree to marrying her because of, the situation that he's in or whatnot. And she's telling him, I want to be with you, whatever. We go back to June. She's telling Jacob and Naomi that she's in training, since this is her first job, and she's living at a shelter, and she's working on getting her life together. So then we see Smitty tell Nicole that his situation is the same as hers because he can't commit to forgiving Martin, because just like she can't commit to forgiving Ted. And she was just like, well, it's not the same. And Smitty was just like, at least he's sleeping on a sofa. Have you given that same courtesy to Ted? And it's just like, he got you there, Nicole. He got you there. So she was just like, I see how good y'all are together, and I'm holding out hope for y'all. And then he's just like, well, I saw how well you and Ted was together. Can I hold out hope for y'all? I'm just like, oh wow. Okay, Smitty. That's right. You tell your mother-in-law. You let her know what's up. So Martin comes in. He comes in from work, and he's talking about how things ran over with what he did, and some people didn't have, like, they didn't have a bus driver, so he had to drive the bus or whatever. And he was just like, don't tell nobody I've never driven a bus before. And Nicole was just like, it's okay if, it's okay. Sometimes it's okay to break the rules. And then Mark Smitty is just like, and sometimes it's okay to just go ahead and call a bus driver so that way you don't have to continue to lie to people. I was just like, oh child, Smitty is not taking his foot off of Martin's neck. And I don't know how I feel about it, but this is where we are. This is where we are. So Ted is talking to Eva and he's talking about, oh, he spent months trying to make it up to Nicole. He's been sending her flowers, she's been doing this and that. And it's just like, sir, you haven't done anything. All you've done is send her these basic flowers. You haven't been doing anything to make it up to him. So what is we talking about, sir? Why are you lying to us? Why? Okay. So he's talking about how he's doing all of that and he's doing a woe is me act or whatever. And Eva is like feeling bad or whatever, so she takes the bottle from him, and then he's just like, your mama poured alcohol all over the wound or whatever. And she's just like trying to get him to stop drinking. So she'll just like, she takes the bottle, closes it, she tells him go take a nap, so he goes and lays down on the couch. So we go back to Anita and Vernon, and Leslie is there talking up a storm. Of course, she lets them know that she got the house, that the deal is closed, so she has a house, and now she's going to remodel it, and she's going to make a house, which is a studio slash house. She continues to talk some more, and again, I wasn't paying attention because she's beyond annoying. I know she does say something about putting a troll statue outside of the house that looks like Nicole or some BS like that or whatever. And Nicole, as Leslie is leaving, Nicole comes in and she's just like, yep, see, there's that troll expression or whatever. And then she laughs and leaves or whatever. And I was just like, I'm so tired of her. I'm so tired of her winning. I'm so tired. Like, she should not have been able to get this house back. Like, there's no way that she has enough money. Like, I don't care what they say. There's no way that she has enough money. She should not have any money. Like, at this point, like, that house should be over a mill. You only got a mill. That was how much your check was. There's no way that you have enough money to double your offer on this house. Like, and I'm going to keep saying it until they explain the money to us, because again, you already overbid on the house and now you're doubling your offer on what you overbid on. There's no way that you have enough money. You can't be playing with Play-Doh. Like, we're not playing with paper money right now. Like, there's no way. And until they explain this is how much she really got, I'm going to be on it. Like, because I'm just going to be on it. I'm sorry. So we go to Derek and they talk about what they expected in their relationship and how it wasn't supposed to be him crippled, him being paralyzed and all this other stuff. They're supposed to be whatever. We go back to Martin and Smitty, and Martin is telling Smitty how he misses him, and Smitty is telling him, look, I need time. Like, I need time. I'm sorry, I just need time. So we go back to Anita and Vernon's, and we see Nicole saying she can't believe that she's going to be living in the Gates, and that it's bad enough that they're going to have to be seeing her at the country club, but she's also going to just pop up at any time since she's going to be in the neighborhood or whatever. So Vernon is just like, I got a plan for that. So we go to Eva, and she goes to visit Leslie. And she's like, she tells her that she's worried about Ted, and that how she was just like, oh, I'm worried about Ted. And Leslie was just like, my Teddy. And she was just like, yo, Teddy. And it's just like, girl, what are you talking about? Like, okay. So um she says something about how no, Eva was just like, I thought you were mad at him. And she was just like, oh, he's only doing that to hide his attraction to me. That's why he did what he did. And it's just like, are you okay? No, you're not okay. I keep forgetting, but whatever. So Eva tells Leslie that Ted is drunk out of his mind, and that she took the bottle from him and all this other stuff. And then Leslie kicks her out and is just like, "Hey, I got plans with my some friends." Eva's just like, "What friends? Because you ain't got no friends." And she'll just like, and she was just like, "I have some friends." And she'll just like, "Okay, well, where are you going?" She'll just like, "I'll let you know once you leave, because we'll talk tomorrow." So she kicks her out the house. We go to Derek, and he wants to know why Ashley wants to marry him, and why Ashley wants to marry him when she didn't want to marry him a couple months ago. And she basically tells him, she just needed time. It was quick at that moment. Like we just moved in together. We weren't working well. It wasn't working out right, and you all of a sudden proposed to me. So yeah, I wasn't ready, but I don't see how she ready now. But whatever. So he was just like, after she talks or whatever and says all of this, he was just like, "Okay, yes, I do. I want to marry you." So Shanice comes in because she's ready to do PT, and then he was just like, Asher just like, "We're engaged," and she's just like, so she's shocked or whatever. So we go to Naomi and Jacob, and again they're back talking about Chelsea and how Chelsea wanted uh Chelsea wanted Naomi, sorry. Chelsea wanted Naomi to be Allison's lawyer. And June comes over and she brings them food, which is not their food. And she's just like, "Well, I'll go, I already put in an order for the other person." So she leaves, and then she goes to another guest or whatever. And they was just like, she was talking to the guest and then saying whatever, like, "Oh, you look like you want a burger," and all this other stuff. So she walks off to go and place the order for them or whatever. And Jacob and Naomi are just like, "Well, I mean, she got swag." So then we go back to Shanice and Derek, and Shanice has questions because she's just like, "How y'all just get engaged?" Because again, how y'all just get engaged? So they tell him why, they reaffirm their love, and Shanice is just like, "All right, I'm happy for you. Now Ashley, you need to get out because I need to do PT with my patient." So once Ashley leaves, um Derek starts acting like he's just like, "I don't know what it is, but like me and you, we had something, but we don't, and I'm in love with." And she's just like, I don't want you. That's dead in the water. All I want to know is you need to be up. You need to like, um. She was just like, sorry. She's just like, I don't want you. I just need you to not lie to Ashley, and lie about what state you're in. So we go back to Jacob, wondering why Chelsea would want I'm sorry, we go back to Jacob and Naomi, and Jacob is wondering why Chelsea wants oh child, all these people's names, I'm sorry. But Jacob is wondering why Chelsea wants Naomi to be Allison's lawyer. And she's just basically saying like she feels like Chelsea feel like she's in control more if Naomi was Allison's lawyer. Then that way she would know exactly what's going on with Allison and everything like that and all this other stuff. So that's why she feels like that's why Chelsea wants her to be Allison's lawyer, because she wants to be in control. And Jacob was just like, "Wow, you may be right." And then June drops some plates or whatever. So we go to Martin and Smitty's, and um Tyrell goes to check on Samantha because she's like acting weird or whatever. And he's just like, "You're acting weird, what's up?" And Martin's just like, "What's up with y'all? Like, what's going on?" So Smitty comes down and he was just like, "I need some help in the attic. Tyrell, you want to come help me?" So Tyrell goes up to help him, and then Samantha's trying to walk away, and Martin's just like, what's up? Let's talk. What's up? What you want to talk about?" So we go back to the Anita and Vernon's, and Vernon is on the phone with Gabe, the president of the board for the country club, and he's just basically saying, we can't let Leslie in. Like, there's a member that has a questionable past, or a questionable, they have just a questionable what is it? They don't have, like, when they do the what is it called? Like, if you don't have child, I can't think right now. It's what is it? Like, when when you're questionable, like you don't have good ethics or good morals or whatever. So he's just saying, like, there's a member that's in the club that's we're questioning them or whatever. So they want to have he was just like, we'll set up a meeting so that we can see about banning this person from the site or whatever. So he sets up the meeting. We then see Ted, he's sleeping on his couch, and there's a knock on the door, and he out of it. So they knock again, so he goes to open the door, and it's Leslie, and he's just looking at, like, why are you here or whatever. So she comes in and she's just like, I'm here to forgive you. Instead of you coming to me, I came to you so that I can tell you that I forgive you. And it's just like, you're pathetic. Like, so pathetic. And then he's standing at the door and she's just like, I know you want me. And then she starts to take off her clothes. And it's just like that, like, oh my God, this was such a pathetic thing for her to do. Like, I didn't like her before. And now it's just like, I pity you, because it's just like, as a character, like, you would stoop, like, you want to be with this man that bad that you could only be with him when he's drunk. Like, you're pathetic. You really are. So we go back to Derek and Shanice, and Derek is acting dumb, talking about he don't know what she's talking about, and she's just like, I'm gonna ask, like, if you are improving and you're feeling you're getting feelings in your leg, you need to let me know, because we need to change up your PT, because we have to change it up so that it's different. Like, we can't keep doing the same small basic stuff. If you're getting feelings in your leg, and you need to be upping it up or whatever so that it can get better. And she's just like, I'm going to ask you once, and I need you to tell me the truth. Are you getting feeling in your legs? And he's just like, no, I'm feeling better. I'm still feeling the same. So she was just like, okay, okay. So we go to Samantha and Martin, and she tells him what happened with Nathan, and how she was making out with this boy, and then they almost had sex, but she stopped it. And I was just like, so how long were you back at the house that y'all almost had sex? What? Girl. Okay. Child. So we get back to Ted and Leslie, and again, Ted is drunk. He's not really seeing what's going on. So Leslie he tells Leslie to put her clothes back on, and she continues to push up on him. He tells her no, he wants Nicole. He wants his wife back. She continues to try him, and he goes to the door to open it, and she rushes and gets in front of him, closes the door, and then locks it. Like, she puts the little bolt on to lock the door, and she continues to say, you want me, you want me, and then they start to kiss. So we go to Vernon and Anita. They're having this meeting with the board, and they all agree to revoke Leslie's membership. So Nicole is happy, and now she's saying the only thing that they need to do is see about getting Leslie out of the neighborhood. So we go back to Shanice and Derek, and Shanice says she's gonna take him at his word, but if he starts to feel in his leg, she needs to let him know so they can adjust his therapy, and he has to tell Ashley, since she's making this decision about marrying him based on him being paralyzed. We go to Martin and Samantha. They continue to talk about what happened. And Martin is just like, do you want to talk to Smitty? And she's just like, no, I want to talk to Smitty. He's a guy. He was just like, okay, do you want to talk to Grandma Nicole? And she was just like, no, I think I want to talk to June. So we go back to Orphe Jeans, and we see June. She's feeling bad, thinking that she's going to get fired. And yeah, that was that. So we go back to Leslie and Ted, and Leslie is they're making out. Leslie is talking, just continuously talking. I've always wanted this. I can't believe this has happened. Da 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 da. And Ted is just like, hush. And then they go to the bedroom, and that's how the episode ends. So yeah, so child, that was this episode. I will say, I'm annoyed with Leslie, like I've been annoyed with Leslie and I've been annoyed with Eva, but my annoyance for Leslie has gone up, especially in this episode, because she again is such a pathetic character. She's so pathetic. Like, as a woman, you're pathetic. You're going after a man who doesn't want you. The only way that you're able to have this man is when he is drunk out of his mind. And you low key actually, it's you low key SA'd him. Like, this man told you no. He told you he wants his wife. He told you no. He tried to kick you out, and you barred him from leaving, and you still went after him. And it's like, if this were a man doing this to a woman, that's how it would be. That's how it would be seen. But with her, I didn't like it. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. But yeah, that was the episode. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so you'll know whenever I post. Get down in the comments and tell me what you thought about this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one.